And Olivia, could you grab a Siddur for me? Or Nora, someone, could you grab an extra Siddur for me? Thank you. Perfect, thank you so much. You want to do Mari Varvim? Yeah. All right, my friends, come on in and take a seat. Here. Yes. Many of the same thing. All right, we have third grade, we have fourth grade, we have sixth and seventh grade. We're just missing a few of our friends. Okay. I have, thank you. Let's begin. And keep off will be better. We're gonna start with a Hine Matov, because why not? We like Hine Matov. How good it is that we are all here together. Thank you. Hine Matov u'manayim, shavenachim yam yachad. 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 Beautiful. Welcome, fifth graders. We are going to continue on Amud on page 28 with the Barachu Na Lakum, please rise. Na lashevet. Before we continue, I have a question for you. Because earlier today, I was at a Catholic high school where they asked me, they said, Rabbi Weiner, why do you bend, when you bow at a prayer, you bend, I'll stand over here, using your knees and then your body instead of just bowing from your hips like that. Anybody know why we just bend from our knees first? Lexi?
Because it goes Baruch and Baruch comes like Baruch and knees.
Yeah, nicely done, right? So our knee, a Baruch or Birkayim, right, are our knees, and that shares the same shoresh. That was a tongue twister. Shares the same shoresh with Baruch, right? And so when we say Baruch, we bend our knees. Now, here's the trick, is we don't always bend our knees when we say Baruch. It's most of the time, but there are lots of exceptions to that rule also. Well, in the Baruch Hu, that's true, but not necessarily in other prayers, right? All right, very good. So we are going to continue with Ma'ariv Arvim, and our fourth graders have requested to lead Ma'ariv Arvim, so come on up, my friends. We are on Amud 30.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam b'sher b'dvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokma poteach shorim uv'vishgonam v'shodeh itim u'mahalif et hazmanim u'machader et hakohavim b'mishmorotehem barakia kirtzonot borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech lechoshech mipnei or u'marir yom u'mei layla u'mavdil bein yom u'vein layla Adonai Sivarot Shemot El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimlo Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim.
Nicely done. We are going to continue now on page 34 with the Shema. Na lakum, please rise. lashevet. Not to put our fifth graders on the spot, but would you all like to lead Ve'ahavta? Yes? All right, fifth graders, come on up and help us lead Ve'ahavta. We are on page 36, Amud 36.
No, my claws.
Things to do as somebody who sits in the congregation when we're listening and somebody else is leading the prayer and we are not leading the prayer is to follow along with whoever's leading at the prayer at the pace that that person or those people are leading the prayer. It's sometimes a challenge because we want to go faster and faster and we're like, we can do this fast. But here's the thing, when you're a group of a lot of people, and this is something really hard for rabbis to learn, I'll tell you, I really struggled with this, is I wanted to go fast, but we forget about science. And the problem with science is that sound doesn't travel at the speed that we want it to, right? Which means that as the community together, when they say things, it ends up being slow, how we hear it ends up being slower, which means it's really important to follow along with whoever is leading so that we all end up going, generally speaking, at about the same pace. So I want to challenge you all, especially when our friends from different classes are up here leading, to pay attention and be listening really carefully to what is the pace that our students, our friends up here are going at, and follow along with that, okay? We are going to continue with Micha Mocha. We are on page, what page is it on? 40. Page 40. See, you're learning. I love it. Page 40, Amud 40. nicely done. I am going to invite up our 6th and 7th graders to lead us. I know that includes all 3 of you, and that includes you, yep. All of you, okay. And I'm going to invite you up. We are going to do the Amidah. We're going to do the Avot, the Imahot, and the Givurot. We are beginning on page 46. Na lakum, please rise.
I'm risen. Are you ready?
You got yours? Here, hers. Yeah, you got it. There you go. Ready? Ready? 1, page 46. 1, 2, 3.
Adonai Sefatak Tiftach Ufia Gita Ilatecha Adonai Sefatak Tiftach Ufia Gita Ilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotinu V'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'konei Ha'akol, V'zoher HaSelevot V'imahot, Umevi Gedula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Sheno Be'ahada, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham V'Tat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, V'Mehayeh Metim Atarav Le'Moshiach, Mashiach Ruach U'Morid Hagashem, Mehakel Haim Behesed, Mehayeh Metim Berachamim Rabbi, Somech Noflim V'Rofeh Holim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayeh Emunato, Rishenei Hafar, Milchamo Ha'agirot, U'Midom Elah, Melech Memit, U'Mechayeh, U'Matmiach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman atah l'Hachayot Meitim, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah.
Yasher Koach and Tadar Rabban to our 6th and 7th graders. Go and take a seat. Thank you very much. All righty. Do we have, oh good, we have time for a few Ask the Rabbi questions. So, who has a question? Lexi. Why do we keep our Torahs in the ark? That's a great question. Anybody have a thought why we keep it in the ark? Olivia? Yeah, so part of it is like to protect them and to keep them from getting ruined. There's more to it than that. Yep.
I was gonna say the same thing.
You were going to say the same thing? Okay. Anybody else have a guess? That's a part of it for sure, right? So here's the other thing, right? Do you have a guess?
Why are they in cases?
Well, so they're in covers. Now here's the thing. When the Israelites were wandering in the desert, Aylin, do you have a guess? Were you raising your hand? Or no? Okay. Hold on to that question. You'll come next, okay? So when the Israelites were in the desert, we built something called a mishkan, or a tabernacle, and it was the place for the broken 10 Commandments and the rewritten 10 Commandments, and eventually the Torah, when it came down from Sinai, all to live. So this is the equivalent of that, because that was like a traveling ark, right? Because they were wandering in the desert. You can imagine how heavy it would be if they had to carry this everywhere while like hiking through the desert, right? It's going to be pretty difficult. So instead they made a traveling one, but now because we have permanent locations, we build permanent arks, right, that we have here, and that's where our Torahs live so that we can protect them, we can keep them safe, because they are our holiest objects and our most special objects that we have in this building. All right, Aylin, did you have a question? No. Sophia. How did we get our 10 Commandments? That is a great question. So, anybody know the story of the 10 Commandments? How they came to us, came to be? Do you have a guess? Yeah, right. So God commands Moses, says, go up the mountain. I'm going to give you these 10 Commandments. So Moses hikes up the mountain, this really big, long hike, all by himself. Right? Anybody ever gone hiking by yourself without anybody else? Right? It's really hard. And he goes up there, and how long is he up there for? Because it's not just one night. He's up there for 40 days and 40 nights. It's a long time, right? It's more than a month. And he's up there, and while Moses is up there, what's happening down at the base of the mountain? The Israelites are doing something they shouldn't be. Bev, what is it? Yes, they got bored and they got worried that Moses wasn't going to come back, or maybe he abandoned them, so they built this golden calf and idol. And Moses came back down, was really mad. Like, think about the maddest that you've ever been at someone. And Moses was more mad than that, right? And so what does he do? He smashes the tablets. He throws them down because he's so angry. And so we get our second set of tablets because eventually Moses goes back up to Mount Sinai, hangs out there for a while, and that's when we get the second full set of 10 Commandments that we get. So really, actually, we got them twice, is what happened, but only because the Israelites didn't really follow directions and didn't behave. So I guess that was a warning for us that we should follow God's directions, right? And we shouldn't misbehave or do things like build a golden calf. Yeah, Esther. So actually, it's just a coincidence. It happens to be about the English translation. So the ark that we use for here is called an aron, right? It actually literally translates much like to closet, but it's not very nice to call it a closet, a Torah closet, right? So instead, we call it an ark. And in the Torah, the word that they use for ark, correct me if I'm wrong, is tevat, which is much more of the idea of an actual ark. Am I correct, Gail? Yeah, awesome. What? Tabla? Ah, okay, so tabla, there we go. See, this is why we have our resident Israeli, to make sure that I get my Hebrew correct, because I don't always get it correct. Yeah. Well, that's a great idea. So I'm going to show you all. Can everybody stand up? Because whenever we open the ark, we stand up. So I'm going to have everybody stand up. Okay. And, well, our light isn't on, but this is the ark, right? Does it look like a closet that you have at home? No. Does it look like a wardrobe that you have at home? Kind of, like maybe you could see there would be a bar going across, you could hang some nice t-shirts, right? But this isn't actually what it is, right? Instead, it's the holy place where we keep our Torah scrolls, okay? And so just a lot of times Hebrew gets lost in translation when we translate it into English. You all can be seated. You take a seat. It gets lost in translation when we translate it, and so it got translated as an ark to make it sound a little bit nicer than calling it a closet, because then we would think that our clothes belong in there, and we don't want to treat the Torah the same way we treat our clothes, right? We treat a Torah like a human being who gets to have a house, who should have a place to live in, right, and a roof over their heads. Anyone else have one? I think we have time for one last question. Yep. How old do you have to be a rabbi? That's a great question. Well, you have to have finished high school and finished college, and then you can go to rabbinical school. So sometimes people finish college when they're 22 or 21 or 20 even. Sometimes people don't finish college until they're 26 or 27 or even in their 30s or 40s. So it takes different people different amounts of time. So it's not about an age that you have to be, but more about how much school you have. So there are people who started to learn how to become a rabbi when they were 50 or 60 or 70 even, right? There's no age at which you are not allowed to become a rabbi, okay? But you have to be you have to have at least become B'nai Mitzvah. So you can't be younger than 13, okay? So you got a few more years and then you can become a rabbi. Vincent, do you have a question? No? All right, we are going to close our tefillah with O Javo Shalom Aleinu, because it's the song that we're going to do on Friday for our JYG Shabbat. And so, you all should come join us with that. Shameless plug for that. But let's sing all together. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kulam. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kulam. Salam. Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam. 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 Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam. Salam. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kulam. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kulam. Erev Tov. I'm gonna wait. I just need to ask if we have any announcements before you leave. Don't leave us.
Two quick announcements. Announcement number one is that we will see you this Sunday for Sunday school, of course, and then next week we are on Thanksgiving break. So we'll see you Sunday. Then Wednesday and Sunday we're gone for Thanksgiving break. So we'll see you Sunday and then back on the following Wednesday after that. We hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is Hoda'ah, a wonderful Thanksgiving. And if you are interested, registration is open to go to retreat, congregational retreat at Asrui. I was actually just with the Asrui directors today, and they are coming to CEC. We're going to have a whole exciting time of Asrui here at CEC, and there'll be more to come about that soon. But in the meantime, remind your families and your parents to register for retreat. Woohoo! Register for retreat. We'll see you on Sunday.